Hi, my name is David from Soul Pathways, and today I'd like to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and maybe yours too, and that is paperwork. Not just the paper kind, but the electronic kind too, as if that makes it easier. So, specifically, the document I'm talking about here is the confidentiality agreement or non disclosure agreement. No, I'm not a lawyer, I don't have any legal background. I have worked with lawyers and I have friends that are lawyers. But basically, the angle here is I've been thinking about how these documents impact our creation on planet Earth. Now, I'm talking about business documents primarily because business is the framework within which most of us create and co-create on planet Earth. And I have a business I'm working on in the plant medicine sector dealing with psychedelics. I'm looking at building a team, and as part of that process, I'm inviting people to meet with me and hear about my concept because I feel that they could assist, they could support, they could be part of the process. And so I've made a internal analysis. I've made a judgment about this person that I then invite to a meeting. And basically, I trust myself, I trust my intuition, and I've judged that that person is a worthy participant in this creation. And it's my baby. I'm spending a lot of energy and time and money on it, and I'm looking for someone to work with on an equal level. And from their perspective, hopefully they feel that I have used my judgment to trust that they would be a good participant in this project as well. And so a meeting is set up, and very early in the process, usually, and I'm guilty of this myself, is this document. This confidentiality agreement or non-disclosure agreement is introduced as a way to protect secrets, intellectual property of the party disclosing the information. And recently I've been thinking about this and how it impacts ideal creation and co-creation. You're looking for a collaborator. You've relied on your own judgment, and now you're introducing this document that basically says, well, I'm not sure that I can trust you. I'm not sure that you're gonna betray me or rip me off. And so I need this piece of paper to substitute for that lack of trust. Now, aside from the fact that, it's just a piece of paper with ink on it, and to really use it, you have to engage lawyers and go through a long, lengthy, expensive process that may not work out for you. Aside from that, at the very get-go, the introduction of this document introduces doubt into the equation. And suddenly, one or both parties are wondering, does the other party trust me? What have I done or said to warrant this? And that perceived lack of trust could be real. It could be something that the person has done, something in their history. Or it can be just imagined fear. That's not real at all. Nothing was going to happen. But what's happening here when you introduce this document is you're no longer working at the 100% level, heart to heart. Instead, there's question marks. Maybe it's only 10%, but still, if you really want your baby to work out, you want 100%, right? So now you're working at 90%. I mean, is that win-win when one party is questioning the trust of the other party? And again, I've used these documents myself, but it just really makes me wonder because let's say something goes wrong. Well, what's going to happen next? As I said before, you hire lawyers and go to court. Well, suddenly your attention is no longer on your business concept, your creation, your co-creation with other parties. Instead, you're focused on documenting what happened, working with a lawyer, going to court, and even if you prevail in court, then there is the challenge of actually collecting on that judgment. The outcomes are not that favorable, and people can lose a lot of money and still get a negative judgment. So it really raises the question of what are we doing here? Because there is, and again, I'm a layman, but there is Latin law, Roman law, that says a phrase called volenti non fit injuria. To willing parties, no damage is done. And so basically, it means you're responsible for your own stuff. So if you're responsible for your own stuff, then if you don't trust the other party, do you have any business inviting them to a meeting? Do you have any business trying to co-create or collaborate with that other party? I mean, is the work to be done not inside you, instead of offshoring it to a piece of paper or an electronic document called a confidentiality agreement or a non-disclosure agreement? I mean, it makes me think of going skiing. So you go skiing and, the ski hill operator does their best to mark off dangerous places where there might be, say, rocks or cliffs or ice. They might use barriers or hay bales, but they're not perfect. Ice can show up at any time in the day. And it's a matter of fact that on ski runs you have ice. So you hit ice and you break your leg. So if you then want to take action and sue the ski hill operator, you've now put yourself into a victim mode where you're blaming the other party. And to me, that really diminishes the individual. It really weakens our power. Because at the beginning, 100% of our power was in making this decision to go skiing, which is, it has risks. It has its own risks. And ice on a ski hill is within the reasonable parameters of what happens on a ski hill. So how can you sue an operator for something that reasonably happens within the parameters of operating a ski hill? I mean, if the ski hill operator had instead, leased out the ski hill to the military and they were doing war games with live ammunition and you get maimed, well, that's, outside of the parameters. And sure, that's, probably something that is reasonable to make a claim about. But there's a lot of energy being spent on this, what I call, victim mentality. And I don't have a solution right here. I'm just looking at what's going on in the processes as I go through the motions to set up, this plant medicine business. And I look at ways in which it could be optimized, ways in which we could work at a higher level of trust so the collaboration is truly 100% and it's truly win-win instead of, this question of doubt. And once you have that question of doubt, it's not 100% anymore. So now it's a little bit win-lose because some of your energy and attention is going to this question mark. And then, of course, if you have to go to court, well, then really, we're talking about something that is definitely win-lose because you're no longer focused on your creation anymore. So does this kind of paperwork really help us? Or is there a better way? Is there a way that we can all trust ourselves? We can all trust our own judgment. I'm reminded of Nikola Tesla when he was being pursued by J.P. Morgan and he had a contract with George Westinghouse on AC power royalties. And in the end, George Westinghouse was being buried by J.P. Morgan. And the burden of this agreement was affecting George Westinghouse. So Tesla just, tore up the contract. And Tesla is one of those people that, as an inventor, people would like to see him on planet Earth today because they feel the value that he brings to the table. But Tesla died penniless with his pigeons. So what kind of a legacy are we leaving here? Are we going after the doubt, the fear, the courts, the lack of self-trust, the blaming, the victim mentality? Or are we trying to leave a legacy of being the best person that we can and just doing our best to co-create on planet Earth? That's the question I'm throwing out there. I don't have the answer, but I hope we can find a better way to do things. Thank you for your interest. Have a great day. Love you all.